Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Atzenhofer studio. I don't have headphones on because nobody's here but me. I'll give you a heads up, give you a good morning. Shout out to everybody. Hope you're having a good Caldo Wednesday. Atzenhofer, since 1926, a South Texas tradition. Nobody sells more Chevrolets in this region than Atzenhofer. They've been doing it since Ed Atzenhofer sold the first Chevy 500 back in 1926. A long time ago, very few of you were around at that time. Ricky King, the first one in, Marvin Mickus Jr., Bobby Leister, hailing the fact that it's called a Wednesday. Scott Snow, Crystal Map, hello, friend. Greg Garcia, Stephanie Conley, Lisa Poole, P. Strauss, Patrick, good morning, sir. Tammy Keeling, Linda Christ, Wendy Hughes Garcia. There's Rena Shear. Saw Rena and Calvin last night down at the Warriors weekend Generals game. Shear Kubota, the generous sponsor that made that available to everyone for free. Nice crowd, raised some money for Warriors weekend. Junior Samples likes my hat. The reason I'm wearing this hat is today and my Victoria PD shirt. I'm not appropriating or impersonating. I'm respecting. I'm very excited. We're going to have a great friend of the program and a personal friend, KRISTI YOUKER, will be in to talk about Keep Victoria Beautiful and what her department's doing through the city. There's Jackie Parsons reminding me, hello, Heather Stewart. The Wade and Carter weather is brought to you every morning by the great folks at A.T. Dearland Feed. For over 50 years, the little gin that could has been there on Water Street across from the convent, inviting you to come in and get whatever you need. I would not say I'm regretting, but I'm certainly cognizant daily of the fact that my 21-7-14 Wade and Carter American Plant Food blend of fertilizer, it works. It works. My St. Augustine grows literally like it's on steroids. It's 78 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under sunny skies, heading to a high today of 89. There's Sherry Jacobs. Good morning. The weather is conducive to mosquitoes. You can also I buy these little ampules of Bifin down there, cut the top off, don't touch it. You just pour it right into your pump-up sprayer, add a gallon of water. I go around and I put mine on the cone spray, and I'll just dust the tops of the little ant beds that show up, and they are gone. I mean, that day, there are no more ants. And it may not serve as a deterrent to the next group of ants, but it definitely does to that group of ants. It's a natural segue into the murder trial of Karmelo Anthony. The young man, 17 years old, convicted now of stabbing to death a kid named Austin Metcalf at a track meet over nothing worth anyone losing their life over. Prosecutors had the opportunity they offered up a plea deal. They could have taken manslaughter, maximum 20 years, didn't take it. The family clinging to the hope that they could convince the world that this was about race and that somehow the world would feel sorry for Karmelo Anthony, who was in the wrong place at the wrong time by his own choice, was finally pushed and told, leave our team tent. And after he had warned a kid, touch me and find out, the kid found out. As Karmelo Anthony, undisputed, nobody denies that he took out a knife out of a backpack, stabbed the kid in the chest, and killed him. People now outraged. If he'd have been white, this wouldn't have happened. If he'd have been white, he would have gotten off. I don't think so. But I think there's an important lesson here. If these are the cards you're dealt, if it's true that a white kid could have stabbed a white kid, or a white kid could have stabbed a black kid, and nothing would have come of it, that's injustice. But if that's reality, then black parents, teach your kids Be better than everybody else, because you've got to be better than everybody else, because you already have one strike against you. Doesn't seem fair. I'm not even sure it's true anymore, but it doesn't seem fair. Vance Riley chimes in. Why bring a knife to a track meet in the first place? Because you're looking for trouble, because you're breaking the rules, because maybe it's reverse entitlement. Maybe you're entitled. The kid got 35 years and sentenced. He's eligible for parole in 17. It's a shame. It's a shame that that kid's going to spend literally at that point half his life in prison. He won't come out the same sweet, loving child that his parents thought he was. He will come out a hardened, abused, sad individual. And it's terrible. It's important to teach your kids. Hi, Monty Howard. Important to teach your kids that one bad decision can alter the course of your entire life. Same thing with us adults. It used to be if you got a DWI, it was going to ruin your weekend. Then it turned into, man, did you know that probably cost about $7,000 to get out of, maybe more nowadays. And now it's turned into, oh, by the way, if you hit somebody with that car while you're drunk, at some point you've got to say to that person, man, can't you Uber, fool? You really want to take that chance? Greg Garcia with a solid question. Why is it that people these days always give the benefit of the doubt to the criminal and not the victim? The morality of the culture is so messed up. Couldn't agree more. There's the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar Sr. checking in. You can catch him right after us on Magic 95.9, the mothership, the home office of the Wade and Carter program. Ash is out of town on business. He'll be back in on Friday. You're stuck with me through tomorrow. Lots to talk about, some pretty cool stuff, and we have a visit with our own KRISTI YOUKER later, which is going to be very good. Benefits from the SNAP program. That's the Supplemental Nutrition Health or Nutrition Assistance Program, what we used to call food stamps before we realized that everybody's entitled to it. So now it's just SNAP. Those benefits, according to 29 states, went to 185,986 deceased people at an annual cost of almost $420 million. That's in a report from the federal government. Here's an example. On May 21st, a federal jury convicted a man who stole the identity of Carlos Ramon Obregon, who was killed in 1977, in a drive-by shooting. Decades after the 14-year-old's death, Mr. Obregon used the dead man's identity to collect about $283,000 in government benefits, including SNAP, Medicaid, supplementary Social Security income, and COVID-19 payments. That's just one example that the administration has outlined to highlight the issue. Interesting. For years, this program has been on autopilot with no USDA insight into real-time data. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins wrote in a letter to the states. How about this? Following the USDA's demand for detailed information on food stamp recipients to review for fraud, a coalition of 21 states and D.C. filed a federal lawsuit against the USDA unlawfully demanding massive amounts of sensitive SNAP recipient data. It's like, you can't know about them. 186,000 of them were dead. That's your tax dollars at work. People are moaning about Donald Trump fixing the reflecting pool for $3 million while he's uncovered $420 million per year of food stamp abuse. Let's see. The Anthony kid, it's a troubling deal. And I don't know what we do with it. I don't know what, I mean, I can't say to you that his being black wasn't a factor in the fact that it took the jury less than 3 hours to deliberate and say, this kid's got to go. He's got problems. He went over there to cause trouble. I feel bad for the Metcalf kid who was a good-looking kid. He's now dead. There's David Ballard. Good morning over there in Channelview. Andrew Alvarez, our own House District 30 State Rep, Sheriff A.J. Louderback. Good morning, sir and friend. Yeah. Andrew Alvarez says, I wonder how many of those recipients of the SNAP abuse are also on voter rolls. You know they are. You know they request a mail-in ballot and vote Democrat to keep that gravy train rolling. There's Katina Arterberry. Good morning, ma'am. Jordan Glass. Good morning. $72 billion. I'm back on Epic Times. Let's see if I can find it. Boy, there's so much stuff today. I mean, really a lot. $72 billion appropriated for ICE. The House clearing the way. Let's see. They've got the bill written to be sent over to President Trump for his signature. $72 billion to fund ICE. I have to think that's good. They've been wanting to fund ICE outside of some of the other issues. 72 billion's a lot. That's a lot. But I think they're trying to ramp up on the deportation. Folks in Maine decided that no matter what Graham Plattner did, they voted for him to take on the incumbent Republican Susan Collins in their senatorial race. It's a critical election. It's almost like the Democrats want that chaotic, charismatic, celebrity type knucklehead in office. Mamdani, Ilhan Omar, Gavin Newsom, polarizing, extreme leftists. Plattner claiming he's not an extreme leftist. He's just a serial sexist. Very interesting. I don't know what comes of that race. Susan Collins, not the most exciting person on the planet, but she's on the Appropriations Committee. She's certainly no slacker. She's been around for a while. Very interesting how that's going to go down. We'll see what happens in Maine in November. I don't know. My first note here said Plattner was too good to pass up. That was what the deal is. He's got some issues. I'm not sure it's not just politics. Even the Dems kind of turned on him a little bit. And when they start turning on their own, usually there's something up. But it's very difficult to know how this will play out. I don't think that Maine is historically conservative. I would not be surprised if they elect Graham Plattner. And I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be, more normal than we were led to believe. Not saying that sending salacious texts to other women about your wife, not saying that's normal, just saying It's a little more normal than some. Switching over to the flyover, a couple of things, one important, one not. U.S. hits Iran after helicopter shoot down. So yesterday we didn't know what caused that Apache helicopter to take a quick crash. It says U.S. forces struck Iranian targets Tuesday evening, hours after President Trump said Tehran shot down a U.S. Army Apache helicopter patrolling the Strait of Hormuz and vowed America must, quotations, must respond. Both pilots survived and were plucked from the water by an unmanned Navy drone boat. That's kind of cool. Remote control, joystick a boat out there, pick them up. It's the first rescue of its kind in U.S. military history. Officials said an Iranian drone apparently downed the Apache, although it's unclear whether the strike was deliberate. The incident strains a 2-month ceasefire already rattled by Israel and Iran trading fire Sunday. Central Command called the response proportional strikes, even as Trump insists a deal reopening the strait could be signed within days. I don't like this personally. If you're going to have a ceasefire, have a ceasefire. If their actions make it so the ceasefire doesn't make sense anymore, then just bomb the heck out of them. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and it's like tit for tat, may be too simple of a way to say it, but, oh, you shot down one of my helicopters, so I'm going to blow up 2 of your missile outposts. I know where they are. Ha, ha, ha. I'm going to show you that I'm dominant. I don't get it. I think the American people, as much as we are tired of this Iranian conflict, we're also tired of being mocked. Americans don't go well with being mocked. And Iran is kind of going, neener, we shot down one of your helicopters with 2 of your pilots in it. They didn't survive because Iran tried to let them survive. I've got no problem with just destroying Iran. But then again, I've felt that way since the USS Cole about, 5 presidents ago? Yeah. Greg Garcia points out a solid point. The words liberal and normal do not belong in the same sentence together. Apparently, Plattner has already said he wants to impeach Trump. Yeah. Linda Chris with a natural segue statement. We need to start making being a communist a bad thing again. Yeah, it's just not. The progressive Democrat is a communist. It's tragic. Peace Strauss says if we get rid of all the illegals, that $420 million will pay for itself very quickly. Or even the $72 billion, it'll pay for itself very quickly. Yeah, I agree. We spend billions each year on illegals. Yeah. Monty Howard says it seems like in Iran, we should go ahead and start turning all of their military installations into new mall parking lots. Trump Center. I have no problem with that. They're not good people. They're not trustworthy. But then again, we don't really seem to keep our word either. Proportional responses. It's another word for attacks. If we're going to have a ceasefire, then let's have a ceasefire. What gets me is the mere thought, after all the United States has done to them, their Navy decimated, their Air Force non-existent, their people still starving, clamoring out of the streets, their economy in shambles. These idiots don't look at the U.S. as having any position of strength in this situation. And that's scary. When you have somebody who's literally willing just to die, to fall on the sword for what they believe, sometimes you have to let them fall on the sword, which leads me to a natural segue into the Texas Tech University situation. This kid, Brendan Sorsby, is a flawed individual. He's a kid who placed hundreds, thousands of bets on college athletics while he was a student and a student athlete. he placed at least 2 bets of his own admission, 2 bets on a team he was on in a game he was dressed out for. Now, he didn't play in those contests, with the insinuation being, well, had he played in those contests, he could have thrown a key interception. He's a quarterback. He touches the ball on every offensive play. He could have thrown a key interception, dropped a ball, fumbled at the wrong time, literally handed it to a defensive player, and affected the outcome of the game. People say, oh, come on. So let's say the spread on the game is 4, and it's late in the game, and it's 10-3. And let's say that Brendan Sorsby took the points. He took the opposing team plus 4. It's 10-3. There's 15 seconds left in the game. Brendan Sorsby throws a meaningless interception, and a defensive back picks it off and goes down and scores. Well, let's say it's 13-3. The kid scores. Now it's 13-9. And with the extra point, it's 13-10. His team still wins, but the opponent covered the spread. Vegas loves a kid like that. They will reach out and touch him when he's in control of the game. That was the whole premise of Pete Rose being kept out of the Hall of Fame for baseball. You bet on games that you coached. And he said, I only bet on my team to win. But by how many, Pete? We didn't say you were willing to lose. We said you affected the integrity of the game. Well, Texas Tech recruited the kid knowing that he had these problems. They're paying him $5 million, low estimate, to play quarterback for them. An NCAA ruling said the kid's ineligible. You can't bet on games. You can't gamble habitually and be a college athlete. It's a privilege, not a right. A district court ruling otherwise. You could do irreparable harm to this young man, affecting his livelihood forever, even though he admitted he did it. It's almost like Karmelo Anthony going, yeah, I killed that white boy. It was self-defense. Feel sorry for me. I'm the victim. By the way, a quick aside on Karmelo Anthony. His parents claimed that they didn't have the money to get Anthony an attorney, so he was assigned the local, if you can't afford an attorney, one will be assigned to you. Well, they took it. They had the equivalent of a GoFundMe account that raised $612,000. The Anthonys rented a different home and bought at least one car. They did not contribute to their son's defense. It's just a different mentality. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's take a quick break. Talk about USA Concrete Coatings, USA Foundation Repair. Charlie Garcia can come out and level your home. He can level and seal the cracks in your driveway and then put down a polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. It's safe. Your tires won't stick to it. It won't peel. It won't fade. We say it quickly every day. It's a new permanent surface on your driveway. Veracruz Restaurant today is called a Wednesday. Get in and let Veracruz remind you why. That when they make caldo de res on Wednesdays, it sells out. It's that good. The rest of the menu's there as well. Today's a great day to take your significant other to Veracruz. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's is your go-to tow-to. Wherever you need to be, they can help. Reach out to Allen's if you need them. Try not to need them. Went Services. Went for all your electrical needs. General electrical needs. Plugs, fixtures, ballasts, or if you need wiring done on a commercial building, school, home, or a Generac turnkey generator installation, they can help you. Paravito Wellness and the Vita Cafe. Get in and get healthy. Gluten-free, preservative-free, always fresh. Comes in a dish that's microwavable. They make it simple for you to eat healthy. Give it a chance. The meals now are cheaper than going to the brown bag stores. There's no reason to eat a cheeseburger, fries, and a full of sugar Coke when you can have a healthy juice and a Vita Cafe meal, or get a pre-made meal and take it home from Paravito Wellness. The offices here at 205 have a couple of spaces available. Nice building. Historic building, beautiful building in downtown Victoria. Sound like Donald Trump. It's a super building. It's going to be terrific. We're having a UFC fight in the parking lot. Pete Hegseth and Gavin Newsom in a cage match. Come on down and check out the offices at 205. JP Hull and James Geets have created a beautiful, beautiful place here for you. Andy Schneider says that Cadillac Escalade will keep the Anthony family safe. Yeah, they're acting like they won the lottery, $600,000. I don't know how that's taxed. If it's a donation, if they're smart, of course, they probably hired a CPA, set up a foundation. They're paying themselves as administrators of the foundation. Yeah, it's probably tax-free gravy to them. I saw where I'm going to try to find this other article. Let's see. Oh, I told you there were two things in this one important, one not so important, but it is worth noting that on this day in 1935, Alcoholics Anonymous was founded in Akron, Ohio. If you didn't know this, a New York stockbroker, try that again. Cut. Okay. A New York stockbroker fighting to stay sober realized the best way to resist a drink was to help another drunk. He found a local surgeon. Isn't that comforting? The guy investing your money in 1935. We're talking about in the middle of the Depression. He's a drunk. So he finds a local surgeon. That's comforting. And the two built a friendship that now counts some 2 million members worldwide. And if you think about it, I mean, I probably know 2 million alcoholics. The idea that there's only 2 million members worldwide, I mean, that includes England. That includes Canada. 2 million who have admitted they have a problem, enough to go to meetings. Yeah. How about that? Alcoholics Anonymous founded June 10th, 1935. I like it. Good job. Let's see what else I had for you today. Oh, they're really concerned. For those of you that are closer to my age, it's from the Doesn't This Figure file. Social Security's main retirement trust fund will run dry in late 2032, 6 years from now, when I'm 69, 3 months earlier than projected last year, which means probably 2031. Annual Trustees Report released Tuesday says, at that point, incoming payroll taxes would cover only 78% of scheduled benefits, meaning automatic reductions unless Congress steps in. Think about this now. For the more than 70 million Americans receiving benefits, that's 1 out of 5 people. 20% of this country, their checks would shrink by about 22%. The average retiree would lose roughly $500 a month. So the average retiree right now gets roughly $2,500 a month. and he would drop back to around $2,000 a month. That's terrible. Congress has two options: bring more money into the program, which is what's going to happen, or cut benefits. More than 6 in 10 older Americans already say their checks aren't enough to cover rising costs. Well, shame on them, right? Social Security is a supplementary income, much like the SNAP program. Nobody ever intended, write this, nobody ever intended for Social Security to be your only form of income in your last years. Dave Ramsey says you should save every month so you don't have to count on the government. I think all they have to do, Brent's problem-solving panacea, all they have to do is allow people to invest their Social Security benefits in advance into a 401k type stock market driven program. That's all you got to do. I mean, it's just, if that would make up the 22% very, very quickly. So Junior Sybil says AA is for quitters. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Monty Howard on this. He said there is a hypocritical quality for Karmelo Anthony's family to complain about the verdict without applying the GoFundMe dollars to his defense. The rest of us just need to move on from this. Yeah. Yeah. John Anderson asked where Ash is. Ash is in Las Vegas. He's doing some work out there. Lisa Poole says, no, Brent, I don't think they did that. Not sure if they were advised properly. I don't know what that's referring to, Lisa. I'm assuming it's Karmelo Anthony and his parents, but they did raise, think about that, $612,000. People on, what I've learned is, and my wife encourages me to ignore the people on social media platforms like X, Twitter, what used to be Twitter. The people that are coming in there and saying that he was mistreated and this is a white supremacist deal, they're just ignorant, but they're frustrating because they're prolific. They just post and post and post, and they're relentless, and they're just like the Democrats in that regard. They are just like the Democrats in that regard. So, well, good morning, friend. Let me take a quick break. You come on over and post up over here at your camera. I'll remind folks that Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends, Palace Bingo encouraging you to come in, play bingo, have a good time, and help 7 local charities. Disabled American Vets, Warriors Weekend, Kiwanis Club. Fantastic. Palace Bingo has the L&L Grill. The food's great. The people are super. I go in. I survive my carnivore keto lifestyle there. I'll get the double meat, double cheeseburger. I'll say just put all the fixings on the side and leave the bun. And it's just awesome. It's a great, great place to go. And there's lots and lots of fun. Chesnick Furniture. We use Chesnick Furniture right here every day. We have a piece of furniture that we got from Bobby Leon, a couple of stools that our guests are able to use. They're heavy, metal, heavy stools. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. See why you just always do better at Chesnick. Get in and check them out. The Chopping Block, it's Wacky Wing Wednesday. Get in and get discounted wings. Today is a great day to go by the Chopping Block. Steaks, Wagyu, prime, choice. They've got it all. Hamburger meat that doesn't shrink. Get into there and enjoy. So we're going to be joined. I'm going to get over here in front of her microphone and to her camera. And right there she is. There's our friend KRISTI YOUKER. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. It's been a minute.
It has, and we're thrilled that you're here. Ash is gone. He's out of town on business. I wanted to share some time with you and get you just to go back a little bit, bring people up to speed with what your role is. Your role has evolved, I think, mainly since and in part because of Wade and Carter. But tell people some of the successes and then tell folks what you're managing now.
Well, I think I would definitely agree. So I would come on here and talk a lot about Keep Victoria Beautiful and what we've been doing in the community these last few years. And I mean, really, it's probably been a good 5-6 years since it kind of reignited. And it's really like just grown beyond even what I think I imagined when we got here. So I'm not, so we now have a new executive director of Keep Victoria Beautiful, Meredith Bird.
Sure. We know Meredith.
Yes. And she ran the farmers market for years, did a phenomenal job. And she was also our chair for our board for Keep Victoria Beautiful. So she already knew quite a bit what was going on. She knows what it took to do it. And so she's just taking it even further.
That's awesome. Meredith is a go-getter. She was always really strong at promoting the farmers market. And so then I met another person. Is her name Meredith too? What's the other lady's name that now runs the farmers market? I'm just drawing that blank. Super nice.
She worked with her.
Yes.
And so Meredith kind of brought her up, and farmers market is going great.
They're doing great.
Even if just driving by sometimes you're like, God, that thing's gotten huge.
But you can stop and everything's very reasonably priced and they don't want to take it home. Go up there and talk to them, buy vegetables, meats, all kinds of things.
Sweets and like
absolutely
baked things and canned goods. And so anyway, we're really lucky to have Meredith, and we've got a really strong board, and Keep Victoria Beautiful is just, like I said, I had to bring notes because I'm not day to day running it. So Keep Victoria Beautiful is it's a nonprofit, as a reminder. So it's a 501c3. And it's also housed within the city of Victoria, which gives it some oomph.
Are you at 700 Main?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're over there. So it is in the Environmental Services Department, which includes trash pickup, the landfill, all that, all your services to handle that, and as well as community appearance. So that means a lot of the flower beds and stuff. So we're all about kind of keeping the place looking good.
So you're funded, at least in part, by the city, and to a degree, you're under the city's control, but you're also a standalone organization that can take donations.
Yes.
And people can come to you and request services, right? I mean, hey, we think this would be a good project for Keep Victoria Beautiful to make it.
Sure. We're always doing new things. In fact, we're still doing, and speaking of y'all's help several years ago on our neighborhood cleanups, those are still super popular.
They are popular.
And they're, we just had one in, let's see, I guess that was March in Blue Ridge neighborhood. And that one we had like over 200 volunteers. And people love it because you're working with neighbors, you're talking to them,
right?
We're doing a hot dog cookout. We're helping them move things, get things that they just want to get rid of that they maybe didn't have help to move it out to the curb or didn't know what to do with it. A lot of what we do is just educate, like you can get rid of this crap,
Well, one of the best moments that Ash and I have ever shared since we started the program, which will be 10 years in November.
Oh my.
Is poop, the plants on others' porches. And the moment you were there that we shared with that elderly lady who she said, I used to have plants, but they died. And we took her some plants for her porch. And she insisted that no cameras, nobody there.
Just
sit down with me for a few minutes and let's just visit. And, I knew that, it meant a lot to her. And I looked over and it really touched Ash and me as well. So,
and I have to tell you, when you guys helped start that, and you literally went and helped picked up all those flowers that first year, it has grown. We do it at every single cleanup.
Awesome.
And HEB has now stepped in to help and support it. And it's a thing we do in every community. And in fact, we regularly task council members, the mayor or Councilman Young, they're the ones that walk around with their little wagon and hand those out. And
That's awesome.
It's really special.
I know Ricky De La Garza is always real
Yeah.
active, and and I've seen Jan Scott. I mean, I've seen all of them, but for sure, what a great buy-in, if you will.
I would agree. I think we've had a lot of good support. This is, like we've said, it's kind of a no-brainer thing. Like, just help your neighbor, make our community better and more beautiful.
Do you got right here? Andrew Alvarez says, I have equipment I can use to clean street signs. I would love to volunteer.
That's wonderful.
There you
okay. Well, definitely get in touch with our department.
Sure.
About that, because, anything that we can all do to help our community look better. And I love when people offer. We've also started doing a lot more what we call clean sweeps. And Meredith's been good about promoting those. So if you have a group, like, I don't know, a couple of friends or your family or your church, or you have some kids that need some volunteer hours, let us know.
And you can sign their certificate that they volunteered.
We'll say you volunteer, but you don't have to wait for a cleanup.
And it's easy, fun work.
It's easy. We'll give you all that you need to clean up. We'll give you the bags, the vests, the grabbers, and we'll even pick up the trash when you're done.
Right. You just put it all in the bag, set it to the side, somebody will come pick it up.
That's right.
Do you guys head up the maintenance and the landscaping? Like, for example, right there at Highway 87 and Loop 486, the Loop and
463.
That one, yeah. Right there by the Texan store where it says, Welcome to Victoria, Texas. Is that y'all? Do y'all head that up?
Yes. All those signs, we maintain those Welcome to Victoria signs.
They look great right now. We've been blessed with some rain.
Well, they've been working on them. Our community appearance team, they have a passion for what they do. So they've been working on those beds at the Loop. If you see them out there working on their hands and knees, putting in mulch and give them a wave, give them a little.
That's
nice
your
honk.
Guys.
That's our guys.
So, know, people just
and gals.
I feel like I should remind you that when you're driving down, say, the Loop 463 feeder road, and you see that back from the intersection where all the trees are planted, which is really just a place to store trees. And it comes in with funding from TxDOT. You got to do something with it. It has to be applicable to the project, and that's why they get planted there. You'll notice the grass is really tall. That is not the city of Victoria. That is TxDOT.
Around in those beds?
No, in the trees back. Like right now, if you go up to that corner that I'm talking about at
with
Main,
the new trees?
Yeah, and then so as you're coming back to the east, there's trees planted and the grass all around them is tall. On that corner, it's mowed, and the sign the entryway is landscaped and maintained. That's a City of Victoria project. The tall grass is because TxDOT has a contract for mowing the grass and it hadn't been done yet.
So it's kind of a joint effort. TxDOT does part of the Loop. We do some sections and contract out. So it's kind of a joint effort. In fact, I was talking to them yesterday about coordinating kind of who's doing what. So because of all the rain,
sure,
everybody's been just working to try and get to everything. And we appreciate people calling in. You can do that C-Click fix and let us know. But we are running around trying to spray weeds and mow.
So C-Click Fix. Is that on a City of Victoria app?
Yes, it's a City of Victoria. You can look it up, and it's a real handy way to report things. It's super easy. You can say, the stop sign's obstructed, or there's a bunch of junk on the side of the road, or there's a huge pothole here that, you can report things to the city and we'll respond.
See, I had a section in there for a while where I did one called C Complain Fix. And you will recall, because you were around back then, that I kind of adopted the water plant at the corner of Airline and Ben Jordan.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I went out alone, no fanfare, nobody recorded it. There's two distinct flower beds right on the Ben Jordan street. And I got down and weeded one by myself and left the other one. And it was so stark that this one, somebody took care. I fluffed. There's plenty of mulch there. I fluffed the mulch. I pulled the weeds. I put them in a bag. I took them with me. And the other bed was next to it and just looked tragic.
Yes.
And that was like on a Tuesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, all the trees had been trimmed, all the limbs had been picked up, the yard was mowed, and said this, this was one of those deals where somebody said, well, if that guy's willing to go do that himself, maybe we ought to go ahead and get after it.
Well,
and they did.
That's kind of the attitude of Keep Victoria Beautiful overall. Like, get out there, and if we do a small piece, people see that and say, whoa, I need to do something, right? So when you see volunteers out with vests cleaning or working in a bed, it should motivate all of us to take care of our own properties and help our neighbors to do the same thing.
Now, I don't know if this falls within your purview or not, but BJ Nelson sent me a question. She said, ask KRISTI about the waste management contract with the city for commercial dumpsters and roll-offs. She says, I get a lot of questions quite often, and I'd appreciate her spelling it out for your listeners. I don't know if that's in your department or not, but if you know.
Sure. I mean, just to, and I appreciate BJ, because they do get a lot of questions on this with white trash. So we have the city has a contract with Waste Management, and that is for all of the commercial hauling. And so that takes care of all the big dumpsters and all of the roll-offs. There are 10-year contracts. Cities have those all over to handle their pickup, and it does set rates. So rates are set, and they're any changes in that are agreed on in a contract. So that's all.
Just is what it is.
Yeah, but it's negotiated at the time. We don't have residential, so some places you'll go, some cities, and that same company will pick up the trash at your house also.
Whereas the city does that.
We do that in-house, and that works out great for our situation and what is best for our city. But that is the case, and I know that roll-offs are kind of an issue, those things that you do when you're going to, say, do a remodel or you need to get rid of a bunch of junk. Waste Management is part of that contract. They do those roll-offs in the city limits. And I get it. Some people get frustrated because they want somebody else to come in or have a choice.
Sure.
But this benefits the city in a lot of ways. It helps take care of our roads. It helps take care of our, the city also has franchise fee for whatever company's going to do that. They
pay back to the city.
They pay back to the city as well. So, and the rates are set, and we have control of that. They're accountable to the city.
Right.
So that company is working for us. So if there's any issues, that goes through us and goes through our department.
Sure. And that's, it is that they're a giant company. They're very, very efficient.
They are.
There's a part of me, of course, with our affiliation with White Trash for so many years, we'd love for them to have that business.
Sure.
We'd love to keep those funds local. And I'm not even sure if that's what, it would seem obvious that's what she's lobbying. But.
And, BJ and her team have, White Trash is doing great.
Fantastic.
They do great services. They give back to the community. And it's great that we have them here locally, for sure.
Yeah.
So hope I
answer that big question. Company, when they have like a 4 square block booth at the Houston Rodeo Cook-Off, it's like you go by and they've got Roger Krager on the main stage, but Waste Management has George Strait in their booth.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's paying a lot for trash.
It's a nationwide.
Who's been, have you had any Keep Victoria Beautiful nominees lately? And have there been any winners that we don't know about?
Yeah. So we just, Victoria ER is our latest one. And if you've driven by them on Navarro, their beds look great. So it's right there on the main. They've got new flowers in there. It looks fabulous. We're now doing them just to give a little more attention to each one. We're doing them every 2 months.
Okay.
They get to keep the sign longer. They get a little more attention.
That's nice.
We want to make it even a bigger deal. So we've moved to doing that. And I also want to let everyone know we have new beautification grants that we are going to ramp up. So right now, let's say you're a school or a business and you want to improve the outside of your building. Maybe it's a little paint job or maybe it's a flower bed. You can ask us for a beautification grant. $500 is no match, and then $1,000 match, but you can do that with just, equity, your sweat equity.
Right.
So you can have $1,000 towards improving your business
by bringing your employees out or your own little crew of friends.
And so it's a reimbursable grant. So you can buy whatever you need to do to make it look better, and we'll reimburse you. And you can apply online. But we're going to ramp that up. So we're going to call them tier 2, which is the $5,000.
Wow. So could you do that? Let's say that you're inside the city limits and you're building a new structure to move from one location to another. Can you apply for that to landscape your new structure?
So go online and apply.
Okay.
But as far as I know, anything to improve the outside of your place is applicable. We want, and especially if it's on place where people drive all the time.
Right.
If it's visible and people can see it, we want to help make Victoria look good. So it's a real simple, easy application, and we're really looking for more. Like, that's awesome. But we want to do even bigger things, like more, I want to say facade-ish. $5,000 will do a lot more than $1,000.
Sure. Well, you could paint the front of an older building. You could maybe hang an awning, do some new lighting.
Absolutely. Just improve that. And our board is really excited about doing more of these. That's been a big push. We've been able to raise a little bit more money this past year or two. And so we want to put our money where our mouth is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What else is happening like at the city? Just take a second. Jesus has been so busy. He and I have talked about him coming on, and he's certainly not averse to it. He's always very accessible. If I call him, he always calls me back sometime within that quarter. And we talk, which is how I know we're close. But tell folks what's going on. I think we've got a new assistant city manager coming in?
We have 2 assistant city managers now.
Right.
But they are hiring they are looking for a deputy city manager. I think that's what you're probably talking about.
I'm just trying to think what the new role is. Do you know?
That's kind of it. That's kind of what I know, but that's happening now. So that'll be very helpful because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the city.
And what are you spearheading these days? I know you were with exclusively for a while, Keep Victoria Beautiful, right? But then now you've had several title iterations, and now you've got new responsibilities. What are those?
Right. Well, Daryl Lesak was the previous director of the department, and so when he moved to assistant city manager, I took over as director of the department. And so, like I said, we handle all the trash in the landfill, the methane capture at the landfill, the compost facility, the contracts that go along with that, but also all the environmental programs. We also manage an air qualities grant through TCEQ.
Okay.
And that's something that really benefits the city. If we can map where emissions are coming from that affect air quality, which largely don't come from here,
right?
They come from elsewhere. But if we can show that, it helps the community. It helps show our air quality. It helps show that we're planning and thinking ahead. That's good for economic growth. So these are things behind the scenes that are part of our department and managing those things. I also want to say we beyond Keep Victoria Beautiful, we also we're ramping up our education with Meredith. And if anyone hasn't gone online and checked this out, it's called the Waste Wizard. And you can just type in, Victoria Waste Wizard or mywastewizard.com, and you'll get to the Waste Wizard. You can type in anything you want to get rid of. Just about anything. And it'll tell you what to do with it in Victoria.
Oh, that's awesome.
Not somewhere else, because we take care of that. We keep it updated. We'll tell you if it goes in which bin. We'll tell you how to get it picked up. We'll tell you if you can recycle it or go donate it, or where to take batteries. So if you're wondering, what do I do with this mattress, or what do I do with this old stove?
Mattress, you just go out into precinct 2 and throw it in the ditch. That's the county knows that.
Yeah. The county loves that. No, none of us want that.
Amen.
Nobody wants that. So you can get rid of things responsibly, and that's our goal. We want to cut back on people dumping things.
Doesn't the city have so many times a year you can call and get solid waste pickup?
Yes.
That's, junk.
And once again, Victoria has great services to get things away from you and out of your house if you want them gone. One is if you have old junk, mattresses and just that's the first thing I think of: sofas, old furniture, old boards, whatever. If you get 2 a year at no additional charge.
So you just stack it up. You call them, they'll give you a date, and then you just stack it up.
So call ahead, because the worst thing is when people leave stuff out there for weeks.
Right. And then your neighbors are frustrated. Your yard dies.
It looks terrible. So call and find out, and they'll get you scheduled. And usually it's pretty quick. I mean, sometimes it's 2 weeks if we're real busy, but get your stuff out there. We'll come by and pick it up for you. If you want it more times, it's $20.
Yeah. It's definitely worth it.
It's definitely worth it. And then for tree limbs, that's another thing. Tree limbs, you don't just stick them out there. 4 times a year, we're through your area. So we're going to go through every quarter and pick up in your area at no additional charge. It's just part of your service, but you need to call and let us know so we know to pick it up. And once again, if you're like, I'm not waiting for that, I want my trees trimmed this weekend,
right?
Because that's the way I am. I'm like, it's happening today. $20.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's just
because you can't haul it to the dump yourself for that. If you take a trailer, they charge you at least $20 to go in there.
It's just such a service, and our goal is to let people know, because if people know, they don't leave it out.
Lisa Poole asks, "What's the phone number?" I mean,
the phone number? Yeah. So our solid waste phone number, if you have any questions about this, is 485-3220.
Wow. Look at you. Concierge to the
yeah,
stars.
I'm telling you. You can also call our administrative office, 485-3230. But we're glad to help you. Use the Waste Wizard. It'll connect you to how to schedule. You can schedule online. You can just do it online.
And you can just go to cityofvictoria.gov and check it out.
Oh, just go there, do a schedule search. It'll say, you want a service? Yes, I do. When? Okay, great. And we'll take care of it for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, every time that I see you, would be remiss if I didn't ask you, how are your folks?
My folks are really, really great. I was just with my dad at South Padre Island. That's his old stomping ground. We did fish.
Awesome.
We caught a few reds.
Just trout. A fine gentleman. He's been a friend for way before I knew you. I've had a lot of respect for your father.
And he sold boats forever.
Oh. He'd like to be selling them now when they're $140,000 a piece.
I know it, but he passed it on to one of his employees. She bought it.
Yep.
She had worked her way up, and she's doing even better.
True success story.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. So anyway, they're doing great, and I'm glad to be on today. I've missed coming on.
We're always thrilled to have you on. You always have good news to share. Please pass along our happiness to everybody at 700 Main. Tell them all that we said hi.
Well, and thank y'all for all you do. And we have cleanups coming up. So I want to tell everybody real quick. So, I mean, they're in the fall. Nobody wants to, it's too hot.
It's too hot. That's right.
It's too hot right now. So September 19th is our next big roadway cleanup. It's our fall sweep. And then November 14th, we're going to be cleaning up. That's a neighborhood cleanup in November, and it'll be around Pine Street Park. Awesome. And there's some improvements over there. If you've driven by over there in that little tucked off neighborhood off Rio Grande and Laurent, there's a nice little park, and we're going to clean up in that neighborhood.
Awesome.
So thanks again.
Hey, we appreciate you, because you're taking us right to the top of the hour. And as always, when our friend KRISTI YOUKER shows up, we're thrilled to have her. It's always good news. There's always lots of news. The very quick Astros update. Astros lose last night 10-1 after beating the Anaheim Angels, California Angels, 12 straight times, 12 straight times at their place. The Astros dropped one last night. They dropped it early. Pitcher Ting, or they call him Tang, T-E-N-G, just got shelled early and often, and it all went downhill from there. Folks, we hope you have a great day. Be safe on the roads. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, especially the Atzenhofer dealership that sponsors the Atzenhofer studio. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you folks mañana.